Jr. has a new grilled salmon burger, and Subway's fighting back. Today on the Menu Podcast, we're going to talk about all the food that is newsworthy and all the news that is food-worthy.
Sounds pretty good, Dave.
Do you like that one?
Pretty good one. Yeah, I like it. I like the evolution of what we've already loved about that intro.
Well, then why don't we just stick with it?
Yeah, hell yeah,
That's the one.
Hell yeah,
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the podcast. My name is Dave Huff, and I am joined, as always, by my good friend Thejoshelkin. We are live on two separate parts of the continent, joined by the internet, twitch.tv/liquorsauce. This podcast also airs on soundclown.com. And let's not forget youtube.com/Thejoshelkin, which is today is the featured creator channel on the rise for all of YouTube.
Yeah, we all give myself a golf clap right over there.
Josh, how the heck are you doing there, bud?
Dave, I'm doing stupendous. I'm super excited to talk about all this food stuff that we love every single week. It's a beautiful day here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And I'm just, I'm kind of on fire. I'm like floating. I'm floating a little bit today, But
as am I.
Yeah.
I'm not floating nearly as high as you are, but I can't help but feel like, I'm caught kind of in your gravitational pull. So, as I had said before, when I saw you on the front page of YouTube, I was like, damn, am I glad I have a podcast with that guy. We've
Dave,
got a whole bunch of exciting topics today. We're going to talk about some really crazy things, aren't we?
Yeah,
we're going to touch on some topics. We're going to touch on some topics that we've spoken about previously. We're going to revisit just a couple of news articles that caught our attention. As always, we've got ourselves a great dumb food item of the day.
It's a really good one.
Just all sorts of good stuff that I'd like to talk about. So why don't we just kick it off? Let's
jump right into it, Dave.
Jump right into the news.
The food news.
It's like a combination of Keemstar and Phil DeFranco merged together. Let's just jump right into the news.
All right, first topic, Dave, on our fresh topic list is the grilled salmon burger from Carl's Jr. And I also imagine Hardee's, because as you know, Hardee's and Carl's Jr. are the same company.
One and the same thing.
Yeah. Now, grilled salmon burger sounds like it could be delicious at a fine dining restaurant, or if you made it at home. But there's just something about fish and fast food that doesn't sit well in my brain or my stomach.
Yeah, I think that it's putrid. I think the best way that I could describe it is putrid. I'd like to pull it up for our viewers that are watching live or watching the video on demand. I'd like them to get a look at this disgusting thing. Yeah. So here's the thing. I have never been about cooked fish. The furthest that I will go, and I know you even less so. The furthest I will go is a can of tuna fish, which I know is your least favorite thing on the planet, and you've scolded me for that before. I also am able to tolerate and in most cases enjoy a good piece of fresh sushi. Love me some good sushi, be it rolls or just the piece of fish dipped in some soy sauce.
Yeah, I like a good fish too. Just to go back to what you were saying about me hating tuna fish from a can, it's true. I hate tuna fish from a can. However, I love a good grilled or seared tuna steak. I even love fresh tuna, like a sushi or a sashimi or something like that. There's just something about that flaky, fake tuna in a can
freaks you out.
That really freaks me out. But we're talking about fast food fish, which are things that should not go together. Fast food and fish shouldn't be a thing.
This isn't even close to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a league all of its own. First of all, it's a really freaky shape. Ugh. I mean, I'm sure once you take all the burgers and all the things, all the buns and the toppings and stuff, it probably looks somewhat real. But the patty itself is just putrid. You hear them talk a lot about fish being one of the, the more particular meat products that you really need to be careful for in terms of the quality on account of, people talk about mercury, people talk about like fish can just spoil really quickly. You really want to get it as close to having been pulled out of the ocean as possible when you eat it.
Yeah.
The process that this fish undertakes to get to this point on this sad-looking Carl's Jr. bun with these sad-looking grill marks, with the sad-looking tartar sauce, has got to be a really long, arduous experience. It's got to be.
Yeah. Just a quick little tip for anyone that decides to cook fish on their own that might not know about it, just a couple of what you said. If fish doesn't smell fishy, it's bad. Don't think that, Dave.
That means it's spoiled, right?
It's spoiled, yeah. So make sure your fish smells fishy. Now, look at this picture. Look at this Carl's Jr. picture. That looks like some really well done Bob Ross paint marks on that. Those grill marks are definitely artificial. They use one of those edible pens for sure. I don't know if it's the lighting in this picture or not, but it does not look like salmon at all.
He's using a fan brush and some black gesso, and he's just painting them on. He's going on up to the canvas, and he's painting on those lines happily.
Now, I mean, I've never been, like you said, Dave, and we were talking about this before, we've never been about fast food fish. I think I've tried a McDonald's Filet-O-Fish once in my entire life, and that was more than enough.
Yeah.
And beyond that, just fast food fish restaurants in general, like Long John Silver's. How do they survive? How do people go out and buy fast food fish? It's mind-boggling to me. And those are fried fish, which, if you're going to talk about fast food fish, is the more acceptable one. This salmon sandwich from Carl's Jr. is grilled or char broiled. Like how are they even going to do that? How are they going to do that, Dave?
I mean, they have a grill at Carl's Jr., so I'm sure they want you to believe that this is real. Mm-hmm. But if I had to guess, this synthetic fish would probably disintegrate the moment it touches an actual open flame. Yeah,
exactly. Like most fish does when you try and grill it or pan fry it. And there's a quote on this site, brandeating.com, that we found this story at.
It was fairly good.
Which is such a bad opening statement. Like, it was fairly good, meaning don't go there. Don't go there.
This is the follow-up to a charbroiled cod sandwich that they had. Right. Now, the fact that the cod sandwich didn't do all that well, and I have to say, like, of all of the fish sandwiches that I've ever had in my life, cod sandwich is much more tolerable than a salmon patty, in my opinion. Salmon patty being just the lowest of the low. They're talking about the texture being firmer than the previous cod sandwich. Oh, man, I'm freaking out.
It took them 3 years to reintroduce.
Yeah, like, where did the cod sandwich go?
Obviously, why was you messed up?
Right, the cod sandwich was bad news. That's why they canceled it. There's no way, like, we were talking last week about Taco Bell being like, oh, limited time. It's to generate hype. It's to make space for other items. There's no way Carl's Jr. dropped a cod sandwich. It did well, and then they canceled it.
Yeah. And then took 3 years to re-engineer the salmon sandwich. And this isn't even, it's not like they're doing this for people that, maybe are eating on a budget, like most fast food restaurants. This thing costs over $7 for a sandwich.
That's wild.
Plus tax, by the way.
Do you have you have that friend? You have that one friend that was always about the McDonald's fish fillet, right?
Yeah, my buddy Jordan, aka Cheese. You know him very well. The guy only has a Filet-O-Fish from McDonald's. He doesn't even eat regular McDonald's. His move is Filet-O-Fish, extra tartar sauce, extra cheese.
So first of all,
gross.
What a sick and twisted individual. Yeah. But we already knew this about him. Yeah. I think, there's two types of people in this world, people that eat McDonald's and people that don't. I always find it interesting, the person that doesn't eat McDonald's, in there, like, sprinkled in that group of people is the person that eats exclusively fish fillets from McDonald's. Because I don't personally consider the fish fillet true McDonald's, I've never considered that person a McDonald's eater, if you will.
Definitely not a McDonald's aficionado.
That person is...
If you don't eat a Big Mac or some sort of nugget or fried chicken from McDonald's,
who are you? Like, where are you even? Yeah, what are you even doing with your life? I feel that those people are yes, absolutely sick and twisted individuals, but they're definitely the people that are going to enjoy, maybe not enjoy, they're at least going to try this sad ass salmon burger. Albeit it's not the same thing because it doesn't have any batter. It doesn't have any, like, the fish fillet is like a deep fried breaded, deep fried with the cheese. Like, this is not the same thing. Are they positioning this to be a healthy item? Is that what they want?
They might be trying to position it as a healthy alternative. But
that's just a real sick and twisted. Who are they?
No. I'm just thinking of it as if like I'm picturing opening it up out of the package and like getting punched in the face with this like disgusting salmon
scent, and then you bite into it and you get that filthy salmon texture with tartar sauce and lettuce. Enough. Here's the thing. I bet you Carl's Jr.'s strategy to go after those McDonald's people that are just about the fish fillet. They want to cut into that psychopath market. Those people exist. We know they exist. Carl's Jr. wants a piece of that pie. And you know what? They can have them.
Yeah, keep it in your restaurant. You know what the crazy thing is that is this going to be a new trend? Are other fast food restaurants going to come out with a charred, broiled, and or grilled fish burger? Because if they do,
Wendy's and I might have to have a discussion if that becomes a thing. I'm okay with like Taco Bell doing like a fish taco. I would be somewhat open to that because I've actually had some fish tacos that are okay. Again, it's always like a deep fried cod, and I'm open to that. Or it's shrimp. It's like a raw salmon, you know, and I'm okay with that.
Or fried shrimp.
Or a fried shrimp, or even a seared tuna. Like, I'm okay with that. What I'm really not down with, I guess it's almost exclusive. I'm really not down with a cooked salmon. I think that's what I'm figuring out throughout this entire discussion, is that the part that really gets to me is the cooked salmon is just putrid.
You know, the crazy thing is that I don't even think the McDonald's Filet-O-Fish is a fish. There's no fish in the sea called the Filet-O-Fish.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, of course not.
That's a whole other story. That's a whole other thing. Either way, if anyone out there tries that salmon sandwich, hit us up. Let us know what you think about it.
Yeah, let us know what you think. We would really like to know what kind of psychopath you are. We'd also probably we're going to make fun of you like a little bit. But that's okay because we make fun of ourselves all the time. So don't even worry about it. You're in good company.
No one's judging you. I'm not going to judge you. I'm just going to laugh about it.
I'm not going to judge you. I'm just going to judge you horribly and make fun of you. But honestly, it'll be worth it. I promise.
Yeah.
Next up, Subway. Moving along. Guess who's back in the news again? You know what? Good for them. Because Subway just keeps popping up. This is, I think, Subway's third appearance on our podcast.
Yeah.
And I've got to hand it to them. They're testy. They're feisty, these Subway folks.
Mad. They are mad.
Subway announced Monday that an independent test by 2 different labs found that the chicken used at its Canadian stores does not contain a significant amount of soy. The allegation that our chicken is only 50% chicken is 100% wrong.
Ooh,
Subway president and CEO Suzanne Greco said in a statement. She said that they're liars.
Yeah. She said they're liars. We were reading this article, and just to give you guys a little context on this situation, people were complaining that Subway chicken is 50% fake, and thus we come up with this a week later. They bite back. But the funny thing is that this is Subway Canada, and Dave and I were talking about it earlier. As most people know, the Canadian equivalent of the FDA, meaning the quality control company or organization in Canada, is revered as a higher standard than most places in the world. Would you agree with that, Dave?
Absolutely. Canada really goes out of its way to make sure that our meat standards in restaurants in particular and sold at grocery stores is of a certain standard that typically tops those standards of the United States.
Right. So then you got to think of yourself, like, are people complaining about Subway as a whole? Because, you know, Subway's available in God knows how many countries, not just North America. Or are they trying to target just Canada? Because there is no way, if Canadian Subway chicken is tested at 50% real, in America, it's probably like at least half that. Right?
My thoughts initially was absolutely, if Canada's scoring so low, then the United States has got to be rock bottom chicken. But I think that the more important part of this story here that we're not really thinking about is this is a multi-billion-dollar company that's just turning around to scientists and saying, no, you're lying.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. And I can't help but feel that that's something that companies do all the time these days.
Yeah, we were talking. Sorry, go ahead.
Companies just love to lie.
Yeah,
it's one of their favorite things. They have to protect their shareholders, is how business works.
That is how business works, and thus, their food quality is determined by that. And then you go down on this article, and then they kind of shoot themselves in the foot, right? Like the chicken strips are made from boneless, skinless chicken breast. Cool, that's all good stuff. Water, soy protein concentrate, modified potato starch, sodium phosphate, potassium chloride, salt, maltodextrin, yeast extract flavors, spices, dextrose, onion powder, caramelized sugar, paprika chicken broth, vinegar solids, paprika extract. There's like 3 real foods in that list. And water is one of them.
Maximum 3 real foods on that list.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to say like yeah, there's just like a lot of fake in there, but let's be very clear. The majority of the things that they said there it's not chicken.
Like, what is modified potato starch?
Our oven roasted chicken is made from, and then they go to list a whole bunch of things that's not chicken. But then they turn around to the scientists and are like, you guys are liars.
Yeah. Who's
Trust us.
People?
Trust us. You guys are liars. Trust us. Our chicken, definitely chicken.
I love how they start that part of the article. The claims made in this story are false and misleading.
Outrageous!
We only use chicken with added spices, seasonings, and marinades. What? You're lying. Clearly, you're lying.
I think that what's happening here is Subway's just like, hey, we've got an opportunity to be back in the news again.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that makes sense is to just go ahead and lie to people. Let's just go ahead and lie to people. Let's argue this. Let's debate it. Let's make it an actual debate, because then we just keep people talking about Subway chicken, which, when you think about it, has not exactly been a hot topic of conversation over the past couple of years. When was the last time you heard a full debate about chicken?
Yeah, no, I don't even know when. And I think this is their attempt at firing back at media, or just like in general. They could have done it a lot more of an effective way. Like, I don't know if you remember a little while ago, someone was talking, I think it was Burger King that was talking smack about Wendy's, and then someone talked smack about Wendy's, and Wendy's official Twitter account went in on that person.
Yeah.
And literally became like a hero of social media at Wendy's.
Absolutely. For calling out that guy deleted his Twitter account. He like called out Wendy's for not being fresh, and they were like, no, we're fresh, and just really destroyed him. And he had no choice but to delete all of his accounts, because I imagine the backlash from the hordes of Wendy's fans, which I count myself among those hordes of fans.
Love a good Wendy's.
Yeah, I just like that, I just like that corporations being bullies and lying to people is like a really popular thing these days. It's trending upwards. So they're just kind of like, you know what? They're just kind of like, here's what we're going to do. Here's a group of scientists that are saying something. You know what's really hot these days? Turning to those scientists and saying, nah, you're wrong. Trust us. Trust us. We know. And the scientists are like, well, but like, no, I mean, we did the science on it. And after running all of this science, it turns out it's not. It's not true.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. It's a lie. Everything that you're saying is a lie. And they're like, no, scientists. Who do you think you are? Scientists or something?
Yeah. Like they're not even scientists. That's what they're saying. They're basically discrediting them as scientists.
I like that we've retouched on this topic because Subway is important to the world, because it's such a big company. But I stand by what I said last week and the previous times we talked about Subway and their chicken and their yoga mats. I'm still not going to get down with that Subway grilled chicken. I always knew there was something up with it. And just because they've rolled through and said, no, these scientists are liars, does not mean that I'm going to be buying these sandwiches.
No, and you've always been about a BMT anyways, if my memory serves me right.
Been about a BMT.
Yeah, you've been about a BMT. That's a new rap song we're working on. Anyways, Dave, moving right along to the next topic.
Yeah. What's next? Oh, this is cool. This is really cool. So you found this. You found this on the internet.
The West Coast Slapper found this one.
West Coast Slapper. Shout out to the West Coast Slapper. Here's the thing. This is so smart, and I've been talking about this for the longest time.
I love this. Pull it up on the feed here.
No, you're not dreaming. Starburst just released an all pink bag.
which is strawberry flavored for all of you people that getting their colors and flavors mixed up.
The scary thing is that it says that it's a limited edition.
Right.
Well, it's strawberry in the United States. I recently had a bag of Starbursts from the United Kingdom. Totally different flavor.
Really?
Yeah. It's still, I think it was still strawberry, but it didn't taste the same at all.
That could be another case of the FDA.
Their red wasn't cherry, it was strawberry.
So
and their strawberry was something else, I don't remember what. And maybe I'm getting this all confused, but the point is that the Starbursts are not consistent all around the world. They change their minds often.
I did not know that.
Like often.
You know, I guess this kind of opens up the discussion of flavor segregation in the world today.
At the risk of really sounding like a real piece of shit, I don't disagree with flavor segregation. I just feel like there's so many flavors out there that I'm not interested in, but I have to deal with on account of the company has this recipe. This is the way they've always done it. Yeah. This opens the door for me to get down on the flavors I really love. What are your thoughts on orange Starbursts?
You know, orange. The thing
not your favorite, right?
Orange. The thing that creeps me about orange is that it's not only a color, but it's also a flavor.
Yeah,
does that make sense? I don't like that.
Absolutely.
I don't like that. You know, when you're growing up and, you know, we're going to date ourselves here, but you were like, oh, what's your favorite lollipop? The red one. What flavor is that? Red?
Yeah, right.
What? What's the flavor?
It's like if you were to go pick an apple off a tree and be like, oh, this is such a fresh green.
Exactly. Love this green. It's so delicious. But that's the thing is, like,
did you have some Yellow-Aid?
The orange, grape, yellow. I'm not really about it. You know, like those aren't my favorite.
So this is the point that I'm getting at. I understand that and I respect that. I know a lot of people that aren't down with orange, and this might make me sound like a real fucking psychopath. I love orange. It's my favorite flavor.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Of all candies, always has been.
A lot.
Always has been. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oftentimes I look deep inside my soul and try and figure out, what have I done wrong? Where did I go astray?
But like orange and like how far does it go? Is it just with candies? Like, I know you're not really about orange juice, right?
I love orange juice. What are you talking about?
Orange juice? Or is it apple juice?
As much as the next guy, I like orange juice and apple juice, but let's be clear. Orange candy tastes nothing like an actual orange. Lemon candy tastes way closer to lemon, for example, than orange does to orange.
You know, here's the thing with the flavors and everything like that. We've seen a trend of this because I think Skittles did a flavor segregation, and I think someone else did it as well. But it gets to a point where, like it says in this article, we've heard our fans plea for more pink Starbursts, and we're giving them what they want. But are they pleading for more pink Starbursts, or are they pleading for less yellow and orange Starbursts? That's the question.
So that's what I think is going on here, and that's why I asked you about your thoughts on orange, because I can't help but feel that if certain people could remove certain flavors from the bag of Starburst, like customize a bag of Starburst, they would be really down with it. And I respect that, and I understand that. I've felt that way from time to time. I'm not particularly down with strawberry Starbursts. I'm not particularly down with, for example, purple Skittles. I know my wife despises anything that's like lime Skittles, lime Jolly Ranchers, lime lollipops. She's not a fan. Whereas I do. If I could just go out and hunt the flavors that I'm looking for. And currently there's no option. You've got to pick them out.
It's interesting you bring up the Skittles thing. First of all, I just want to point out that that's a perfect couple. You eat a bag of Skittles, you eat all the ones she doesn't, and vice versa. It's awesome.
But the problem is we're lazy and we don't even want to go through the effort. We want a company to do it for us.
I hate the rest. Like, I only like the pink and the red Starburst, and I hate the other ones so much that I'll get the tropical bag because they don't have any of that other nonsense in it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But it gets to another point where in Skittles, for example, the lime Skittle did so bad they replaced it with green apple. Lime Skittles don't even exist anymore.
That's true. That is true. Right? I forgot about that. And I'm all for replacing the weak links in bags of candy, without a doubt. Very much down with that. The problem becomes when they change the one that was your favorite.
Yeah.
So because people don't love orange as much as I do, I'm afraid that one day they're going to take it away from me, and then I'm going to feel like I lost a part of who I was, my identity.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're doomed. When it comes to
Hopefully, what they'll decide is to provide me with a bag of all orange Skittles, Starbursts. I would be super, super down with that. So I guess that brings me to the point here of this Starburst All Pink limited edition. Don't make this a limited edition, please. Make this all the time.
Make it real. Make it real. Come on.
It doesn't say how long they're going to be doing it for. You can find them in select stores: Walmart, Walgreens, Target, Kroger, Major. What is that? MEIJER? Never even heard of that place.
Never heard of it either.
HEB and Amazon. Look at Amazon getting their name up there for a limited time starting in April. I mean, so down. So down. And here's what they say. This is their actual... We've heard our fans plea for more pink Starbursts, and we're giving them what they want. For the first time ever, Starburst is launching Starburst All Pink so people can enjoy not just one or two, but a whole pack full of their favorite flavoring. They've really made me feel like an outsider with a statement like that. Because, truthfully, strawberry is my least favorite. I guess I just have to live in this lonely space of citrus flavors, alone with my citrus.
Yeah. I didn't realize you were such a citrus.
I'm very passionate about my citrus. Okay,
clearly you are.
Very, very passionate about my citrus.
Wow.
So I just feel like this is great, and I hope that this is such a successful campaign that they're like, fuck yeah, we're going to do this all the time. The truth is they probably just ran the machine too long with the strawberry flavoring in it, and now they have so many extra strawberries they don't know what to do with it.
I always think of that.
That's 100% what it is. They make up this. We were just talking a second ago about companies lying. We've heard our fans plea. Bullshit! You didn't hear a single thing. You ran the machine for too long. You fired the guy who was the foreman of the strawberry candies. And you've packaged them, and you're selling them by themselves.
That's what we thought, like with Airheads and their little bites. That's what they did. They're like, what do we do with all this byproduct of our Airheads? Let's make bites out of it. And
we made the belts. The fans wanted it. We made the belts, and we cut a whole batch of them a little too small. So what are we going to do? We're going to package them and sell them on their own as bites. There's examples of companies doing that all the time. We spoke about it somewhat recently about, the same. There's just always examples of companies trying to maximize their output. And I think that this is no different. They've got all these extra strawberry flavors. What do? It's probably way cheaper to make a new packaging than to throw all those old strawberry Starbursts in the garbage. I guess that's the ultimate test. Is if you're to taste these, are they like older than the regular batch? How long have they been sitting around while they planned what to do with all these extra strawberry Starbursts? Right? I'm not against it. I'm down. I just wish they would be more accommodating to our citrus sickos out there.
I feel like if this does good and people are really down with it, they'll make every one of them available. You'll be able to get your orange ones and your yellow ones and your the other shitty ones too.
Precisely.
Sorry, I don't mean to step on your citrus parade now, Dave.
No, it's fine. I deserve it. I deserve to be kicked in the teeth about this here citrus parade.
That's good. That's good.
Josh, they're bringing back Iron Chef.
I am so fired up about that. Like, incredibly fired up. Shout out to Alton Brown for making this a reality, and the people over at Food Network for really bringing back what is the original food show. I don't know if people know this, but Iron Chef, not Iron Chef America, but Iron Chef is a long-lived tradition in Japan. And it's
classic.
Existed for many years. It's a crazy classic.
It's legendary, in fact.
It's definitely legendary. So Food Network has finally revealed new details about images and stuff like that for the reboot of Iron Chef, and they're titling it, Dave, Iron Chef Gauntlet, which is pretty cool.
I think that's fantastic. I really like that they're just calling it a reboot. because they're not really rebooting it. They're just bringing it back. It's not like Iron Chef had a narrative that they need to restore, that they need to like go back to Alton Brown's origin story, or you're going to excuse my ignorance. What was his name? The guy, he was like the main Iron Chef guy for the longest time before Alton Brown.
He's actually what's his name? He's actually de Kosis. Yeah.
Sorry, I lost you there for a sec. You're cutting out. Watch your internet there, Josh. You watch your internet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I okay? Am I back? Am I back?
You're okay. You're back.
It's Marc de Kosis, right? He was in Blood In, Blood Out. No, it wasn't in Blood Out. He was in
Blood In, Blood Out.
He's a kung fu action star. He was the original. He was the Japanese chairman for Iron Chef America, and they positioned him as the nephew of the original chairman of the Japanese version, Takeshi Kaga.
That's, I think, the guy who I'm thinking of, Takeshi Kaga. There he is. Is this the guy? Yeah, this is the guy. This guy is like synonymous with Iron Chef. If you were gonna like, for example, if you were gonna like do a reboot, call it a reboot, and bring this guy out and do the story of this guy's life, where he came from, and you came up with a whole mythical story of Takeshi Kaga, that would be amazing. You could call it a reboot. Other than that, they're just bringing back a show that was canceled, right?
I mean, yeah, it wasn't. I think it just ran its course. Like they took it to a place.
It wasn't canceled as
Chef.
Yeah, it wasn't canceled as in
America. Then they had the next Iron Chef.
Right.
You know.
Iron Chef Kids, Iron Chef prison inmates, Iron Chef Circus edition.
I thought you were serious for a second, but no. You know what they're doing? They're actually coming out with a series. If you just read a little bit lower, The Legend of Iron Chef, which I think is pretty cool, and it's going to celebrate the historic moments of Iron Chef.
I think that's
America.
Awesome. I think that's really awesome. I'm super down with this idea. I think I've known Josh, as long as I've known you, you've been about Food Network. You watch more Food Network than anybody I've ever known, and that was way before you were ever on Food Network. Yeah. You absolutely obliterate all of those shows, and Iron Chef, correct me if I'm wrong, holds a special place in your heart due to the fact that it is the original competitive cooking show.
Yeah.
And it did start, 20 years of competitive cooking shows? Has it been that long? When did Iron Chef first come out?
I want to know right now. But it's really interesting to go back and watch that and like rewatch it. I think
1993 is the first episode of Iron Chef Japan.
Wow.
It ushered in 24 years. 24 years.
309 episodes. Whoa.
Of 24 years of competitive cooking. And it's not like competitive cooking is going anywhere. I mean, it's not like it's like you have a competitive cooking show and they are still of the most bountiful, popular shows in the cooking world these days.
You know what?
And really, I think they all have Iron Chef to thank for this.
Yeah, Iron Chef is definitely the original competitive cooking show. And it's really interesting that it originated in Japan. And then I'm reading on the Wikipedia right now, Food Network Canada picked it up before Cooking Channel in the States.
I think I remember that. That.
That's cool.
Honestly, it's like the Power Rangers of the food world.
It's very true. Very true. They, you know what? Just like Power Rangers, there was a lot of voiceover from what I remember back in the day.
Absolutely.
A lot of voiceover.
Well, I remember the first ones that I saw, the first episodes that I saw were the Japanese episodes, and it was all voiceover, dubbing. And I thought that was super cool, and it again paved the way for all competitive cooking shows. So you got to hand it to them. They really were onto something.
Yeah. Anyways, fast forward, where are we at? 24 years later, and now they're going to reboot it. And I'm curious to see if this reboot with Alton Brown is going to be different than Iron Chef America, and I imagine it will be. If we read the rest of this article, I'm sure they will, because Alton Brown doesn't really do half-ass things. Like they're trying to bring back his show Good Eats, which was like a food science show back in the day, and it's taking a long time because he doesn't want to just come out with the same thing. So I imagine they're going to do the same, have that same mentality with this new Iron Chef.
Bring something
Reboot,
fresh.
which I'm excited about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
If there's one thing you can hand to Alton Brown, it's the fact that he doesn't like to mess around with any stale ideas. He's always looking to innovate. He's looking for that kitchen ingenuity, and he's going to bring it in the Iron Chef world. Hey, how soon till we could see you on Iron Chef, Josh?
It's a very good question. I don't know if I'll.
I think to get on the show, I could be wrong. I think you have to murder someone.
Probably.
I think you may have to murder someone.
I'm going to reach out to my peoples and see if I can go on it. Although I'm looking at the list of judges, and they're way more refined chefs than I am.
They're going to cut you down.
Giada De Laurentiis, Luda Lefebvre, like these guys are Mark Forgione. I know a lot of these people actually.
Dude, you got to go up against the greats. And,
competing on it is a whole other situation.
Everybody knows it's all about just greasing the judges backstage. You got to slip them. You got to slip them a 100 spot here and there, and then then you win.
I'm reading a little further down here, and it actually, I think it is a competition show in the sense of a next Iron Chef. 7 competitors will battle it out to become the next Iron Chef.
Yeah.
You may recognize a few faces. Interesting. And they go on talking about some of these chefs.
Like, are they bringing back Bobby Flay?
If you look on page 2, they talk about him, Michael Simon, and Morimoto doing something, but I didn't read fully through it. Hold on. What does it say? What does it say there about them?
They will face, so they're the Iron Chefs, right? You go against the final. So they're going to do 6 people, and then that person, the winner of those 6, is going to go up against one of the Iron Chefs to become an Iron Chef.
Right.
So yeah, it's the same format that it always was, more or less. But
no, that's the next Iron Chef format.
Oh, really? Right. You're right. So it's going to be kind of like the next Iron Chef, somewhat.
Right. That's interesting.
Which is cool. I think they're definitely going to bring some unique twists and turns in terms of the basket of goods that you get to use and all those things, the access to whatever ingredients you have, they kill it. They invented that. Chop took it to another level in how outrageous some of the food items were, and some of them weren't even really food items. But that Iron Chef is going to have to bring their A game because they were the gold standard for that.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to have to take it up, right? And just on top of all of that, like the food game has evolved so much. There's so many different things now, like there's so many different ways to make things. It's not like a traditional.
Right.
So I'm interested to see on how these kitchens are going to be outfitted, because I remember there's a couple episodes back in the day of Iron Chef America where there was a lot of molecular gastronomy,
right?
Like using beakers and like a lot of science and all these things. And then you have restaurants now like Nola in Copenhagen, I think it's in Copenhagen, where they make everything is like super engineered, and there's a lot of like squeeze bottles and like everything. Yeah. Great. Some people call dainty, what I call like, super refined. So it's going to be really interesting to see that contrast in this show. I'm really excited about it. Really excited about it. And it starts in April.
You got to get on this show, man. You got to get on this show, whatever you do. You get on the show, Josh. You get on this show. I don't want to hear excuses.
Try, Dave. I will try, okay?
There is no try. There's only do. If you got to go and cut the heart out of Bobby Flay's chest to get on this show, then that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And you find that puppy.
Get off your ass and you find that dog. You don't look for an hour and call it quits.
Good for Iron Chef. Happy for them. Can't wait to watch the show.
Definitely.
Up next, most important topic of the day by far.
Arguably the year.
Maybe the year. Spreadable coffee.
I love the sounds of that. I really do.
The headline is, soon you can spread coffee on your toast. In Japan. Of course.
Obviously.
Of course the Japanese would come up with this. And of course it wouldn't be available here. Yet.
We actually have a friend in Japan right now. I'm going to message him and ask him to bring it back.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Wow.
Mark your calendars. March 1st, 2017 will be one to remember. So it already came and went, but it's here now. Because on that day, people in Japan will be able to put coffee on their toast. What a time to be alive.
Yep.
Snow Brand Milk is releasing a spreadable version of its coffee.
Just going to throw this out there.
Weird name for coffee.
Milk Doesn't sound like a very reputable company.
If you've ever had Snow Brand Milk's coffee, you'll know it's rather creamy and sweet. So it should make a good toast spread. Coffee you can eat isn't a first. Back in 2015, they released a pudding. It's called Edible Snow Brand Coffee with a creamy topping, coffee middle, and caramel sauce bottom. Oh, that looks pretty cool. It almost looks like a snack pack of sorts. Those layered snack packs.
Snack pants.
Listen, I would love Spreadable Coffee. I think if I could add more coffee to more
things. More
consumables. Honestly, the better. Just go in on it. Like, I would put coffee on a bagel. I would make coffee pizza. I would make a coffee burger even. Like, what does coffee not go with? You've had a hot cup of coffee with every type of food out there? Because I know you're about hot beverages more than anything else. Coffee being your favorite hot beverage. Mm-hmm. You've had coffee with every single meal, any type of cuisine, whatever it may be. Has there ever been one cup of coffee and one meal pairing that you're like, no, can't do this?
It's a very interesting thing. I have a feeling that having a hot cup of coffee with a piece of sushi is probably not going to taste good.
Probably not the move.
Probably not. I mean, I might be wrong.
I've been wrong
before about food pairings, so it might be good. I don't know. Maybe.
It begs the question: what kind of ingredients could we use for this? Like with this, what could we use? Sorry, the question is, what kind of dishes can we use this as an ingredient for? Because obviously spreading it on toast is the simple thing. It's the one that makes the most sense. Spreads and toast, they go hand in hand, but there's got to be other things. You got to be able to mix this in. Like if you were, I don't know, for example, I imagine it's very buttery and sugary.
Well, I would love to know the consistency and what the flavor profile composition be like, right? Because if it's like butter,
could you replace it? Could you replace it like if you're putting together a dough of sorts that you would put butter in or something, or maybe you would be putting a shortening in? Could you use this instead?
Look at you with your cooking knowledge.
Like some kind of knowledge. It's not 100%, but it's not terrible.
If it's the consistency of pudding, we're limited. If it's the consistency of butter, now we're talking. Yeah. Right?
How about if we split the difference and it's the consistency of margarine?
Like Nutella.
Could that be used in the same way? Could I, like, if I'm making eggs in the morning, could I grease the pan with this?
Coffee eggs?
Coffee eggs are good. We did it, Josh. We've done that before. We made coffee eggs. They weren't that bad, and they definitely gave you a kick.
Well, like using coffee as like a marinade or, making ribs of some sort, that's a thing. Like coffee barbecue sauce is delicious, right?
Yes.
I'm just really, first of all, guys, you could like Snow Brand. You could have made the toast. You could have made the toast a little more appetizing. Like toast the bread at least, right?
Toast the toast. Actually, you know what? They could be deceiving us all together, and this could be like a Melba toast.
Oh, you might be right.
They could be spreading it on Melba.
Thing, right? That could definitely be a thing. I don't know.
I was thinking originally that we would list this as the dumb food item of the day or of the week. This is way too smart. Yeah, like I would absolutely eat this. Bring this to America, please. To Canada, please. I would buy this from my grocer's mart as quick of an opportunity as I have. I would go and I would get this.
I second that. I really want to take it and analyze it.
Pair it with things.
Yeah, just like do a little bit of taste test, see if it melts, see if it freezes.
You could probably adapt it into a really good icing for a cake.
And if it's the consistency of pudding, you can make pudding pops with it. Chocolate pudding pops? I want to do that anyways.
Yeah. You know what pairs best with coffee spread? Cup of coffee.
Probably. But then how sugary is it? Like, how sweet is it going to be?
It's maybe sugary, maybe more sugary than I'm used to for my coffee, because I don't have any sugar in my coffee. I don't take any sugar. I just take a splash of cream, and if I'm out of cream, then it's a splash of milk.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Me too. I used to drink coffee milkshakes before someone was like, "You want some coffee with your sugar?" And I was like, "Okay, I'm out. I'm done with this."
Right.
Interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to message our buddy John, who's currently in Japan, and ask him to bring this back.
John? We have a buddy John?
John Carl.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry,
He's there on
John.
vacation right now.
Apologies, John. He's on vacation in Japan. Yeah. You need this. You need this ASAP. And and we should try it. We should try it on the podcast next chance we get. Or just on a stream the next chance we get. Gotta hand it to the Japanese. Once again, revolutionizing the food game in a very particularly strange way. A good old-fashioned strange way.
Love it. Love it. Cool.
That brings us, Josh, to our dumb food item of the week.
I like ending our podcast with the dumb food item of the week, Dave. I really do.
It's one of my favorite things because we always call them dumb, but after we do the podcast, I always find myself sitting there being like, you know what? I actually kind of want to try it. Like,
not that
it's
dumb.
Stupid and all, but what is this, Josh? What are we looking at here?
Which one are we going with here?
This is the pressurized. This is the pressurized beer bong.
That's right. It is called the Q Bong pressurized beer bong, and essentially, it's a personalized pressurized beer bong. Now, it's a beer bong is a pretty good way to get a lot of beer inside your body in a very short time span. But as we know, Dave, the traditional beer bong is the one where you pour it into the funnel and then you release it. And by ways of gravity and suction, I believe, it flows into your face. And if you let your esophagus relax, it just goes right into your gut, causing you to get wasted really quickly. Now, you might have a hard time achieving that by yourself. Not anymore, right?
I like their pitch here.
Cutting it for you?
Keep it going.
Gravity isn't cutting it for you? Well, that's fine because now you can use the Q Bong beer bong. It uses a pressurized reservoir and a one-handed trigger valve so that you can basically squirt all the beer down your throat as fast as humanly possible. Beyond that, if you want to go a little bit down, Dave, they have a graph showing you exactly how to do it.
Oh my God.
Isn't stupid,
this is so
I don't
stupid.
know what it is, but seriously.
This is literally, so essentially what this is this is a super soaker for beer and your throat.
It's really friggin' dumb.
I mean, I guess like if I was just joking around, you know, you could just like, this is going to sound terrible. You could just shoot it halfway across the room into your buddy's mouth.
That's taking it to a place.
But like so why would I not just use a regular beer bong, or why would I not just, people do, what is it called? Where you stab the side of the beer can and you go nuts. Shotgunning.
This is why, Dave. This is why, because this lets you pump it up and the PSI. You pump up the PSI as high as you want. You're like, dude, that could be dangerous. That could be
not
really
only could
dangerous.
it be dangerous, not only could it be dangerous, but if I had to say, if I'm just going to throw it out there, you know, they're already fast enough. Beer bongs, shotgunning, they're so fast. Most of the time, they're almost too fast. You end up getting some foamy head that spills out. You get some in your eyes. It fucking drips all over the place. Like, it's a real mess.
Yeah.
So do you really need it to be even faster? It seems a little excessive to me. Who was out there going, you know what? Beer bong, not hardcore enough for me.
And what was is that what it was? That was the inspiration of this? Like, we're not getting the results we want with getting wasted in 4 minutes. Let's create some pressure and get drunk in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Real dumb. I love at the end of the last sentence. Stupid. And this is probably where we should tell you not to be idiots and drink responsibly. Oh,
precisely.
Then it's all good now. Whoops.
Yeah, now, just drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive, and you'll be fine. I mean, okay, so here's the problem. Like I said when I started off, I kind of want to try it. I want to know how pressurized it is. Also, if they're going to do it, why wouldn't they come up with a whole line of them, you know? Q-Bong 100, Q-Bong 50, Q-Bong 100, Q-Bong 150, all the way up to the Q-Bong 1000 where you have to wear a backpack and it's got the big lever.
Oh, taking it back, Dave. Super Soaker
Shout out to the
100.
Super Soakers, dude.
Yeah.
There must be, not there, I know there are humans that at parties have loaded Super Soakers with liquor. I've heard horror stories of people getting sprayed in the eyes with vodka and whatever else by somebody who loaded a Super Soaker with vodka or whiskey, like a real scumbag, which is a really crazy move to do. Beer, it works a bit better, and I guess this makes that idea more controlled.
Still really dumb, though.
So dumb.
You're going to see an article come out in the next little bit being like, college kids screw up their esophagus from too much pressure out of the bong beer bong.
They cut their esophaguses, esophagi to pieces.
Esophagi, yeah. Anyways, that is the dumb food item of the week, Dave.
I just feel like I'm happy that I saw this. That I spoke to you about it because it made me realize that I need more Super Soakers in my life. And since I have children on the way, I think I'm going to start building an arsenal.
Ooh.
Can you even get Super Soakers anymore? Like I know this is a food podcast, but before we go nuts, like I'm going to Amazon right now and I'm checking Super Soakers. Like what can I get Super Soakers wise? Ooh, they're crazy now. No, these aren't the real deals. These are the knockoffs.
And Nerf owns them. No, Nerf Super Soaker water blasters.
I know that Nerf purchased them. Whoa, dude, these look like they're from Mass Effect or Halo. These are crazy. These guns are crazy.
Can you just take in the Nerf Super Soaker Hover Flood? It's a friggin' drone.
The Hover Flood. The Hover Flood. You could get Nerf Super Soaker Star Wars Sidekick Blaster. It's the blaster that Han Solo used. Fantastic.
I love that there's 2 pages of Super Soakers, by the way.
You could get $139 battery powered AK-47.
Where are you looking at this right now?
I'm just on Amazon perusing. And then I like that there's all the bootlegs one, like the Wish Time water combat gun. It's like the knockoff Super Soaker that is the old design from when we were kids. They still exist.
I like those ones.
You know what? That's what I was going to say. I want a Super Soaker 150. That's my jam. Doesn't exist anymore. I can't get a Super Soaker 150 anymore. Does not exist any longer. That's too bad.
Damn it.
Because if I could get classic Super Soakers, I'd be down. And then we could just use those as Q bongs. We could use those as beer bongs and liquor bongs, and they'll be multi-purpose for drinking or for just having a good old-fashioned water fight. Which who does that anymore? Does anybody do that?
I mean, I feel like people do it, but it's probably like taken to a really crazy place. Didn't we saw that one time? Remember our buddy Rico from when we did the show? He was in a video where it was like a crazy war with Super Soakers. Wasn't that Super Soakers? Or was it Nerf? Either way, whatever.
Nerf. There are some great YouTube videos of people with Nerf guns. Nerf guns are still killing it. Super Soakers, they've taken a bit of a back seat as of late, and I think we should maybe bring them back.
It's a water shortage. That's why.
That is true. It's true. And in California, you can't have Super Soakers. We'll do it in Canada. The water's abundant. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, perfect place for that. Well, that brings us to an end of all of these wonderful topics that we've spoken about today. I feel pretty good about this podcast that we made here, Josh.
It's only getting better. Every podcast we do is just better and better and better.
Really not excited about a Carl's Jr. grilled salmon burger and what that means for the salmon industry and or the fast food industry.
Yeah.
But I really like the idea of spreadable coffee. So you know what? When you consider that Iron Chef is coming back and they're going to give exclusive single color candies, I think there was good takeaways from this. This was a positive podcast. It wasn't. I find oftentimes we talk about some negative things and we have like a lot of negative things that we don't like because food is so particular. You end up talking about your personal tastes a lot, what you like, what you dislike, and I just can't help but feel that from time to time we end up reflecting negatively because something isn't within our personal tastes. This one had a lot of positives. This one had a lot of good things that are coming to the food industry or the food world or whatever you want to call it. And it's a good time to have mouths and stomachs and digestive systems.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes it's going to be a lot of negative news and sometimes it's going to be a lot of positive and sometimes it'll be a wide range of that. But that's the point of this podcast, is bringing you all the unbiased food-worthy news and newsworthy food. Right, Dave?
Actually, totally biased. 100% biased. All we do is interject our opinions. Thank you guys all so much for listening. As always, you can find this video on demand podcast at youtube.com/Thejoshelkin. We upload it immediately in audio format to soundcloud.com as well as iTunes. The link is in all the descriptions. You can find all of the links in the descriptions. We're going to try something different next week. We're going to stream this podcast live to YouTube, to Josh's YouTube channel, youtube.com/Thejoshelkin. We're going to do it at Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. That's Wednesday, March 15th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah, 2 p.m.
I hope you will join us there.
Yep. Don't forget to check into mine and Dave's socials just in case we modify that time or whatever. But
yeah,
either way, let us know what you think. Hit us up.
Yeah. And let's talk about more food real soon.
Yeah.